it's Carly, and today on the Muddy Path channel we're going to be talking about how to change your diet. So stick around and see what I have to say about that. Okay, so I've done a series on the different typical autism diets for your family, but I mean that's easier said than actually doing it, right? So today I thought I would talk a little bit on the different ways that we use to change our diet from eating a traditional diet to going to the GAPS, or even, to gluten casein free, or going from each one, gluten casein free to grain free, and then to GAPS. So the first thing that we always did is you got to get the kids involved. If they're involved, then they have some sort of ownership in the whole process, and that usually is it's not just you imposing your desire to change a diet on the kids. So we always started with getting cookbooks, or looking on the internet and printing off a bunch of recipes and things that they wanted to try. So usually they always pick the desserts, of course, or snacks. And that kind of leads me into number 2, which is, okay, start with a snack. Try and change your snacks first. So this can work with if you're doing gluten casein free, or if you're doing like a grain free diet, and you have a little bit more flexibility on how you can roll it out, or what foods that you can start with first. So for us, starting with the snacks totally made sense, because you can have a snack or you don't have to have a snack. So try that. The third one is we have our recipe rating system, and I'll go into a little bit more detail about it later, but basically we're rating each meal and as a family, and then we're using what everybody liked or didn't like, and you're trying to create your weekly meal plans out of that. Number 4, I would always say, when we started on the weekends, it was much easier. If you're trying to start, Monday we're going to start, and you're trying to make school lunches, you might have, full day of work or whatever, and you come home and you're trying to figure out this recipe, or what, I don't have all the ingredients. Weekends always were way less stressful. And I would even start with, even a dinner. Again, if the kids had a really good breakfast and lunch, and then they didn't have a full dinner, I'm in the generation where, you didn't finish your meal, well, that was it. And a half-eaten meal is still okay. So at least they tried it. Number 5 for us was a calendar. We did this with Ted, and it was one of his therapists that came up with the idea. It was just, I think, because kids are very visual. So when you can see what's happening through the month, and the kids are getting to pick certain days where it's their choice of, their menu selection, versus you deciding every day of the week what everybody's going to be eating, there's 2 things with that. One, it's you and not them, and like I said, having them have ownership in it makes a difference. But the second thing is if there's a meal or 2 that they weren't so excited about, but they know only 2 days from now there's one they really wanted to try, then there's usually, it's a little easier to get them again on board with this idea. So try that. You pick some days, they pick some days, it's visual, everybody's agreed on it. And then if you had a really bad week, which again we did this with Ted, where he picked meals that he didn't end up liking, then you can always readjust for the following week and say, okay, next week you get to pick all the meals for the week. And then I would say even another way where we tried, and this is for kids that are maybe really, really extreme, where they're eating a very typical, the beige diet, maybe they're only eating crackers and chicken nuggets, or they pizza every day of the week, or French fries, and you're just this will never work. Well, I would say with Oscar, one of the amazing things was going to the berry picking places. So we went to a strawberry pick your strawberries. It was a guy that grew organic strawberries, so that was great. I didn't have to worry about everything being washed first. But he didn't quite understand, the idea. But once he got some berries smushed on his hands and he was, licking them, and like fresh berries, like in season, like, the ones in the store sometimes look good, but they don't actually have any flavor. So that really started the transition of him being a little bit more exploring tastes. So the same thing, if you went to like a farmer's market and you said, hey, which vegetable do you want to try? And they actually picked those carrots that they wanted to try. And this is a kid that never ate vegetables. So think about different ways maybe that your kid is usually maybe more accepting to things, and just give them ownership. That was the biggest change for any of these things that we've done, is making the kids involved and giving them a word and a say and letting their voices be heard. So hopefully those are some good tips for you to help transition. If you have any comments or questions, leave them below, and I'll try to help you as best I can. And if you like what you saw, remember to like and subscribe and ring the notification bell. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you again on the Muddy Path.